Hi, everybody, and welcome to Kerrigan and Company. It's great to have you with us, like always, and boy, do we have a great lineup for you today. We have an underlying theme today, and that's these are individuals, you're going to meet three of them, who have dedicated a big part of their life to service. They've been known for other reasons, but they have this underlying passion that makes them do great things for other people, and we hope it inspires all of you who are watching and listening. Now, keeping me company today is somebody that you've met before, sitting right here next to me. I hope since that time you've listened to him. I know I have many, many times. It is so great to have back with me today country singer Jay Allen.
What's
Hello,
up,
my
Kim?
friend.
Hello. Thanks for having me back.
Oh, how fun is it to get to be together again?
That's wonderful.
September was the last time you were here.
No, we're talking about how fast time goes now.
Oh, Jay, we're in the middle of 2025 already. It's really hard to believe.
Yeah.
But since I've seen you, certainly keeping track, and wow, have you been busy?
Yeah, it's been a beautiful year already, releasing new music, and the biggest thing and most important thing for me is we've been touring care facility communities, and something really special and sad just happened. We were at a care community, and they were having like a session, like a painting session. I jumped in and painted with this gal named Fran, and she had dementia really bad, and Stacy, my manager, took a video, and it was this really beautiful moment where she like came back to us, and her eyes lit up, and she was really engaged, and it's of God because I think we all needed to see that, and her family needed to see that because we just found out she passed away a couple of days ago. So we get to be a part of, bringing life back to families.
Yeah.
It's so important to me to honor caregivers too, and those people that take care of them.
Absolutely.
And do that every day. I get to come in and bring that sense of healing in a moment, but caregivers do it every day, are not unrecognized. So that's been my focus recently.
Well, for those of you who maybe didn't get to see Jay on another episode with me, Jay's passion is, well, I think he's got a lot of passions. Music is probably his first passion, but he is a member of a club that he doesn't necessarily want to be a part of, but he's certainly making the best of it, and that is for those who are raising money and advocacy for Alzheimer's disease. And the reason is because you lost your mom.
Right. Yeah. It still doesn't sink in sometimes, but it's been 6 years. She was 51, lost her at 54, took her life in 2 years and 9 months, and devastating. I had to educate myself very quickly as to what dementia and Alzheimer's really was. And I'm a songwriter, so I wrote a song to express myself out of heartache, out of therapy, and it turned into a war song for her, and just how God works. He utilized it to give me a purpose in life. I get to share that all around the world to bring healing to people, and even since she's passed. So raised a lot of money, done a lot of good, helped
a lot of money.
people. I call it turning your pain into purpose.
Yeah.
So she was the most selfless, shy person, but now she's known everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's become this beautiful thing for me. So.
$160 million was the last figure I saw that you have raised. And keep in mind what he just said. He was introduced to this horrific disease just 6 years ago. So that is really, really amazing, Jay. How's Dad?
Dad is a wild man. He's good. But what's cool about us is we weren't close before Mom got sick. We couldn't be closer now.
Yeah.
We're very different human beings, but we, I think everyone through this disease, you find community, and you hold on to each other. And him and I have an impenetrable bond because of it, and we kind of made a pact. I asked him to keep a promise to love Mama till the end, and he did it with such grace and beauty, and he honored that promise, and so him and I are good. So I just celebrated a year of sobriety, and so Dad has kind of followed suit a little bit and pulled back, so we're healthier and better and happier because of it.
Fantastic. Well, I am so glad to hear that. You look terrific.
Oh, thanks. Back at you.
Thanks. Wow, I was waiting for that. It took a while, but okay. Let me ask you what you've learned about the disease, maybe even since I last saw you, because when you were here, you were doing a lot of research. You were still learning a lot about it, and I think that's probably a learning curve that everybody stays on.
Yeah.
But tell me a little bit about what you've learned. What good is happening in that world?
Well, first of all, when you talk about the bad, it's there's more and more people that are being diagnosed.
Right?
Yeah, the 6th leading cause of death in America. I think the 7th in the world. The good is that we have treatments available now. You
Right.
know, and
We're slowing the progression, right?
yeah, we're slowing the progression. And I think I take a lot of pride in being the person that I am. I look like I am. I'm a younger male that's covered in tattoos. My manager calls me the cool guy. I don't agree with that, but I take a lot of pride in kind of cutting through the BS, and being bold, and being that person that makes it okay to talk about it, makes it more human. We get up on stage and we put on this fun country rock concert, and then I, am the most raw and authentic you could ever be, and I take people to church and I create a safe place by sharing my story. Mm-hmm. And I've just seen it part this sea of grief. Mm-hmm. And we're always the last people to leave the venue because we have a merch booth, and it's, we sell shirts and hats, but it's mostly so I can shake everyone's hand and hug their necks and hear their stories. And because I bared it all on stage, they feel comfortable to bear it all back to me.
Yeah.
And that becomes like a ripple effect.
Sure, absolutely.
From those moments, people have come back to shows and they've shared with me that they were inspired to become speakers or to be involved in their local chapter, Alzheimer's Association, whatnot. So moments of bravery have turned into this like reverse butterfly effect for us, and I experience it and I hear the feedback every day.
Yeah. It has to be so great when people who have gone through this can share their stories together, because I think it's a very unique disease that it certainly is different for every family, and yet there's a bond between the families.
Yeah.
And that's got to be great to be able to share that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're not alone.
Oh, no.
It.
Yeah. That's the, first of all, the misconception that it only happens to older people, which is not true. And then, like the young boy that approached, like one of the very first times I played a big show and I shared my story, afterwards I had a young man, like high school age, come up to me and said, I've never shared with anyone that I go home after school, I take care of my mother. It's like this sense of guilt, like no one wants to bestow it on anyone else, that they just deal with it and internalize it themselves. And it's so sad and so hard to handle. And the person that cared for you, now you're the caregiver for.
Right.
I think it's our human nature just to, how can I just deal with this myself and keep it private? But I've just experienced all the good that comes from sharing it.
Yeah.
You're not casting your burden on anyone.
No.
People want to help you.
Absolutely.
And then once you share it, you realize they're going through it too as well. So
the caregiver aspect of it, I think, is a really important part of it. I mean, it's really tough. I'm sure in those after an early diagnosis, it's very difficult on the patient. But there comes a point where it's about the caregivers more than it even has to be the patient.
Oh yeah, I when I think about it, I get emotional because my little sister, she, I was in Nashville and I'm touring, and I'm trying to be a warrior on the road, but she's at home being a warrior behind the scenes and having to do things and see things that a daughter should never have to do and see. She's the one that's bathing my mother, taking her to the restroom. She's mom's starting to get violent. She's the one that's consoling her and calming her down, and she's 5'1" little blonde and having to be the toughest person in the world behind the scenes, not getting recognized, not being seen, not being celebrated. So once the person gets sick enough where they're not present, they don't even know they're sick. It's all about the caregiver.
Absolutely.
And they just get forgotten about, So that's been a big part of our care community tour is we actually go in, we put on this fun show, and the residents are there, and we get them up and laughing and dancing, and I'll spin them around. I'll pull them out of their wheelchair if I have to and heal them. But for me, it's more so about the caregivers, and at the very end of our performance, I've decided I'm going to bring them all on stage.
Yeah, I love it.
And I talk to them for a minute. I pep talk them, and
that's great.
I perform blank stares for them. It's a moment for them. Remember that what you do is so important, and you are seen. And do not dare quit, and keep going because you're doing beautiful and very important things.
You're in Boston because you're going to be a part of Hope on the Harbor.
Yeah.
It is now. This is going to. You guys are going to see this, or if you're watching on the very first day, this is the 3rd of June. This is happening on June the 5th. We wish that this was happening a little bit later so that we could promote it even more than these couple of days. But it's happening at the Renaissance Hotel.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, I get to share my story and perform blank stares all around the world now, and it's just another moment for me to do that,
That's
and
great.
Just help raise funds, and help bring hope Not just on the harbor, but we're bringing hope to the whole community, the whole town.
Little on the harbor, a little, downtown, a little everywhere.
Yeah, yep.
You've got a new song out, dropped it on Memorial Day weekend.
Yep.
It's so good. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's called Break From Broken.
Yeah.
Actually, we kind of offered this, well, we did offer this song to a documentary about caregivers. Buddy of mine, Richard Liu, he put together this documentary. It started with his dad. He was his dad's caregiver for 7 years, and he documented the whole journey. And he brought along 2 other caregivers and their families. And we actually got invited to the White House for the preview of this movie. And we're sitting second row back, Stacy, my manager, and I, in the president's private movie theater. And I noticed there was a young boy and his dad next to me. We watched the whole thing, super emotional, very powerful. And at the very end, they started rolling the credits, and they started playing my song as they announced that this young boy's mother, this guy's wife, had just passed away. She was one of the people that they were caring for. She got breast cancer from the fire pits serving over in Afghanistan.
Gosh.
And the boy buried his head in his dad's lap, and they just both sobbed and held each other. And the dad put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Thank you." Stacy's head is in her lap. We're just bawling our eyes out, and that's the first time I realized, okay, we have another important song.
Yeah.
And Stacy just stayed on me and kept reminding me of how important that song is. So we decided to put it out and honor caregivers, honor people that we've lost that have served, and made the ultimate sacrifice. I think it's so important to honor them.
Well, I'm very excited about it, and be sure that you stay with us, everybody, because a little later in this show, we're going to hear that song, so I'm looking forward to that. And we got lots more to talk about, okay? But we're going to get to that. But first, you remember we do this Fast Five thing, right?
No.
Oh, yeah. Just because you've done it once doesn't mean that you shake it out.
I need more espresso.
You're not immune. All right, if you're ready, you get 30 seconds. There's 5 questions. It's rapid fire. Are you set, my friend?
Let's go.
All right, Jay Allen is my co-host here, folks. Here we go. If you could be an animal in the world, what animal would you choose to be?
I'll be a dog. I just lost my dog. He was the coolest dude ever. Yeah, best friend.
Reincarnated, maybe. Come back, right?
Yeah.
If a movie was being made about your life and you could choose the actor who would play it, who would you choose?
Oh, Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
He's a bad dude. I love that guy.
What was your favorite subject when you were in high school?
Favorite subject. Does recess count?
Why am I not shocked by that?
Yeah, the times where I was not in school.
I'm sure it was music class.
Yeah, I still talk to my vocal teacher, actually.
There
high school.
you go.
Yep.
Well, what's your favorite ice cream flavor?
All of them. Yeah, when I quit drinking, I started eating an insane amount of ice cream. So it doesn't matter if it has sugar. I love it.
And finally, the song that describes your life.
Honestly, my song of purpose, Blank Stares, it's a song of hope. So...
Fantastic. Jay's going to sing another song for us a little later in the show, as I mentioned, and you are going to love it. Break from Broken is the name of it, right, Jay?
Right.
All right, fantastic. In the meantime, we've got 2 terrific guests who are going to join us, both of whom you suggested to have here, both who have lost to Alzheimer's, and both are people you are going to know. So stay with us, everybody. This is Kerrigan & Company.